As she sat watching the world go by, something caught her eye. It wasn't so much its color or shape, but the way it was moving. She squinted to see if she could better understand what it was and where it was going, but it didn't help. As she continued to stare into the distance, she didn't understand why this uneasiness was building inside her body. God's promise is certain. There is no uncertainty in divine law, no hesitation in the fulfillment of what has already been ordained. The only question is not whether it will manifest, but whether you will recognize it. Everything that has been prepared for you exists now, waiting for your acknowledgement. It is not something to be earned, not something to be struggled for, but something to be accepted. The fulfillment of God's promise does not require effort. It requires faith, the kind of faith that knows without seeing, that accepts without doubting, that walks forward in absolute conviction. Too often, people measure reality by what their eyes can perceive, by what their senses report back to them. They believe in what they can touch, hear, and see, while dismissing the unseen as mere fantasy. But the truth is that the unseen is more real than the visible world. What appears in your external world is nothing more than a reflection, an outpicturing of what has already been established within. The foundation of all things lies in the invisible. Every structure, every invention, every great creation existed first as an idea, a vision, a state of being before it took form. The same is true for the fulfillment of God's promise in your life. It is not something that will happen one day. It has already happened in the unseen. What then prevents its manifestation? It is not God who delays, nor is it fate that withholds. It is only the individual's doubt, their hesitation, their wavering between belief and unbelief that stands in the way. The law is simple. What you fully accept as true must express itself. The moment you truly believe with unwavering certainty that what has been promised is already yours, the manifestation is set into motion. The only reason it seems delayed is because the mind is conditioned to believe in time, in process, in struggle. But divine law does not operate by human limitations. It does not require years, months, or even days. The promise is fulfilled the moment it is fully accepted as reality. To accept it is to rest in it, to live from it, to act in accordance with it. When one knows something to be true, they do not question it, they do not second guess, they do not seek proof. They simply walk in the certainty of its reality. A man who knows he has received an inheritance does not wake up each morning wondering if it is true. He does not plead for it, he does not doubt it. He moves through life with the quiet assurance of one who possesses great wealth. The same must be done with God's promise. You are not waiting on the promise. The promise is waiting on you. It is waiting for your faith to rise above appearances, for your conviction to become unshakable. It is waiting for you to stop looking to the world for confirmation and instead look within, where the promise has already been spoken. The moment you declare it as done, the moment you no longer entertain doubt, the world will shift to reflect your knowing. This is the secret of all great manifestations. The ones who receive effortlessly are not those who beg, plead, or strive, but those who simply know. They are those who refuse to entertain any reality other than the one they have accepted within. They are those who do not let circumstances shake their faith, who do not allow time to weaken their belief. They remain steadfast, unwavering, immovable in their conviction. And because they stand firm, the world has no choice but to conform to their inner reality. Some may wonder, if the promise is certain, why do so many live without receiving it? The answer is simple. They have placed their faith in what they do not want. Faith is always at work. It is not selective. It does not only operate in the positive. Whatever one gives their belief to, whether in doubt or in confidence, will manifest. Those who live in fear, in lack, in struggle, are merely experiencing the fruit of their own unseen convictions. They believe more in their limitations than in God's promise. They have more faith in difficulty than in ease, more faith in delay than in immediate fulfillment. But tonight this can change. At any moment one can shift from doubt to belief, from questioning to knowing, from hoping to accepting. The power has always been within, waiting to be activated by the simple yet profound act of recognition. The promise does not require effort, only the decision to no longer waver. When this decision is made, the world will move in ways beyond comprehension. Circumstances will shift, doors will open, the impossible will become inevitable. But none of this will be a miracle. It will simply be the natural outworking of a law that has always been in place. The law that declares what is accepted within must be expressed without. Tonight, All that is needed is the recognition that what has been promised is already yours. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but now. The moment you step into this awareness, the moment you allow yourself to fully accept it without hesitation, you will see that the promise was never far from you. It was always here, waiting for you to claim it. Imagination creates reality. This is not a poetic statement, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the fundamental law by which all things come into being. Everything that exists in the physical world first took shape in the unseen realm of thought. Before there was action, there was intention. Before there was form, there was imagination. The world as you know it is nothing more than the crystallization of the unseen, the solidification of ideas once held firmly in the mind. And so it is with your life. The circumstances you experience, the opportunities that appear, and the limitations you encounter are all reflections of what you have imagined to be true about yourself and your world. Nothing happens by chance. Every event, every encounter, every success or failure is rooted in a state of consciousness, a deeply held belief that has taken form. If you wish to change your reality, you do not begin with the outside world, you begin with the inner world. You do not fight circumstances, nor do you struggle against what is already manifested. Instead, you withdraw from appearances and turn inward to the place where all things are created. The mind is the workshop of creation. Within it, all things are shaped and molded before they are seen. To control your mind is to control your destiny. If you allow the mind to be governed by fear, doubt, or limitation, the world will reflect these conditions back to you. But if you discipline the mind, if you train it to see beyond appearances and hold fast to the vision of what you desire, then the world must yield to that vision. The law is absolute. What you persistently imagine with feeling must express itself in your reality. To imagine is not merely to see pictures in the mind, it is to assume the reality of that which is unseen. It is to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to embody the state of having rather than longing. Most people imagine unconsciously. They dwell on what they fear, on what they lack, on what they do not wish to experience. And yet they wonder why these very things continue to appear in their lives. They have misused the power within them, allowing imagination to be guided by circumstance rather than guiding it with intention. To deliberately create your reality, you must take control of your inner conversations, your mental images, and your emotional states. You must discipline yourself to assume only the best, to expect only success, to feel only the joy of fulfillment. This is not an act of deception, it is an alignment with truth. For whatever is assumed with feeling becomes real, whether it is wanted or unwanted. The process is simple. If you desire wealth, you must cease to imagine yourself as struggling. If you seek love, you must no longer dwell in the feeling of loneliness. If you wish to be healthy, you must abandon all thoughts of illness. You must occupy the state of the desired outcome, allowing it to become so natural, so familiar, that it feels inevitable. When the mind fully accepts an idea as truth, the world arranges itself to match that truth. Many believe that change requires effort, action, and external force. But action is only the final step, the natural outpouring of a shift in consciousness. The true work is done in silence, in the unseen realm of the mind, where reality is first shaped. When the inner world is adjusted, the outer world follows with mathematical precision. There is no randomness in this process, only law. Doubt is the only obstacle. The moment you waver between belief and disbelief, you delay the manifestation of what is already yours. The world cannot give you what you yourself have not accepted as real. To receive, you must first imagine yourself as having. To experience, you must first embody the state. The moment you claim it within, it is only a matter of time before it takes shape without. Those who master their imagination master life itself. They are not disturbed by appearances, nor are they swayed by temporary setbacks. They understand that the unseen is more powerful than the seen, that reality is nothing more than a reflection of their state of being. They move with confidence not because they have seen proof, but because they know the law. They do not wish, they do not hope, they assume. And because they assume, they receive. Your imagination is limitless. There is nothing you cannot create, no condition you cannot shift, no destiny you cannot claim. The only question is whether you will use this power deliberately or allow it to be controlled by fear and doubt. The choice is always yours. Whatever you hold in imagination with feeling must become your reality. It is law, and law does not fail. Live in the end. This is the secret, the great mystery of creation, the law by which all things come into being. To live in the end is to assume the reality of your desire as if it were already fulfilled, to walk in the certainty that what you seek is already yours. It is not wishful thinking, nor is it self-deception. It is the very principle by which all manifestations occur. Every great achievement, every fulfilled desire, every realized dream was first lived inwardly before it was seen outwardly. The world does not shape your belief shapes the world. Most people live by sight. They measure reality by what they can touch, see, and hear, and they allow external circumstances to dictate their inner state. If they see lack, they feel poor. If they see rejection, they feel unworthy. If they see failure, they assume defeat. But this is the great mistake. The world is not the cause, it is the effect. The moment you accept the outer world as final, you become a servant to circumstances, bound by the limitations of what is, rather than the infinite potential of what can be. To live in the end is to break free from this illusion. It is to turn inward, to claim your desire as a present reality, to assume the feeling of already being, having, and experiencing that which you seek. When you fully embody this state, the world has no choice but to conform. Reality is fluid, ever-changing, molded by consciousness. The only question is whether you will shape it consciously or allow it to be shaped by default. There is no need to figure out how your desire will manifest. The mind, conditioned by logic and reason, often seeks explanations, tries to predict outcomes, and worries about obstacles. But creation does not work through effort, it works through assumption. The moment you claim something as real within, unseen forces begin arranging themselves to make it so. Paths open, circumstances shift, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is not coincidence, it is law. Think of how effortlessly the body operates. You do not consciously direct your heartbeat, nor do you command your lungs to breathe. These functions occur naturally without effort because they are part of your state of being. In the same way, when you live in the end, your thoughts, actions, and circumstances move in harmony with that state. You do not force change. You become change. You do not wish for a new reality. You embody it. And once you do, it must materialize. Doubt is the only thing that prevents this. The moment you question whether your desire is possible, the moment you look to the outer world for proof, you step out of the state of fulfillment and back into the state of lack. This is why so many struggle with manifestation. They live between two states, oscillating between belief and disbelief, never fully committing to the reality they wish to experience. But reality responds only to certainty. You cannot half believe and expect full results. Living in the end means making a decision. It means choosing to trust the unseen more than the seen, to stand firm in your assumption regardless of appearances. It means seeing beyond what is and holding fast to what you know must be. A man who knows his wish is fulfilled does not seek reassurance. He does not beg, plead, or chase. He walks in confidence, moves with certainty, and rests in the knowledge that what is unseen will soon be seen. This is the power of imagination. It is not a passive act, nor is it idle daydreaming. It is the force that brings things into being. What you consistently imagine with feeling must be made real. The moment you step into the state of the wish fulfilled, feeling it as true now, you summon the forces of creation to bring it to pass. You do not need to know how, you need only to be. Those who have mastered this principle do not wait for proof before believing. They believe first and the proof follows. They do not allow circumstances to dictate their state. They dictate circumstances by assuming the state they desire. They live in the end, unwavering, unmoved by doubt, knowing that what they have accepted as real within must be expressed without. This is the law. It does not fail. It does not operate selectively, nor does it require effort. It simply requires faith, the kind of faith that does not waver, the kind of faith that knows. When you adopt this faith, when you assume the feeling of already being who you wish to be, reality must reshape itself to match that assumption. There is no other way. Whatever you claim is true within must be realized without. It is law, and law does not fail. Persistence is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the intangible and the tangible, the dream and its manifestation. It is not merely the act of repeating affirmations or visualizing sporadically. It is the unwavering, unshakable assumption that what you desire is already yours. Many people fail in their manifestations not because they lack the ability, but because they lack persistence. They allow doubt, external circumstances, and temporary setbacks to shake their faith. They look for immediate results, and when they do not see instant evidence of their desire, they retreat into disbelief, undoing the work they have begun. The key to all creation is the persistence of an inner state. What you consistently assume as true must externalize itself, for reality is but a mirror reflecting your dominant state of being. If you can hold firm to the conviction that your wish is already fulfilled, if you can maintain this feeling despite what the senses report, you will inevitably experience it in the physical world. But if you waver, if you allow the outside world to dictate what you believe, you will find yourself caught in a cycle of doubt and delay. The world tests persistence. When you decide to assume a new state of being, the old state often fights for its survival. Circumstances may temporarily reflect the opposite of what you desire, not as a sign of failure, but as an invitation to persist. The mind, conditioned by past experiences, may attempt to convince you that nothing is changing. But this is where persistence is most required. You must refuse to be deceived by appearances, knowing that they are but shadows cast by old assumptions. Your task is not to react to them, but to remain steadfast in your chosen state. Imagine a seed planted in the soil. The moment it is placed in the ground, it begins to grow, even though nothing is visible on the surface. If one were to dig up the seed every day to check for progress, they would only hinder its growth. So it is with manifestation. The moment you assume your wish fulfilled, the process begins, even if you cannot yet see results. But if you continually question, doubt, or look for proof, you uproot the seed, preventing it from taking root in reality. Persistence is not forcing, it is allowing. It is not about effort, but about remaining in the state of the wish fulfilled without needing external confirmation. A person who truly knows their desire is already theirs does not waver, just as a pregnant woman does not doubt whether her child will be born. She does not question the process, she simply trusts that what has been conceived will come to fruition in its appointed time. So it is with all things in life. Once you have assumed the reality of your desire, persist in that assumption, knowing that it is already done. One of the greatest errors people make is to base their persistence on what they see, rather than on what they know. If they see no immediate movement, they abandon the state of fulfillment and return to the state of wanting. But the law does not operate on uncertainty, it operates on conviction. It is not those who hope, wish, or try who succeed, it is those who know, and this knowing is cultivated through persistence. The mind may attempt to reason, to analyze, to find logical explanations for how your desire could come to pass. But the path to manifestation is not one of logic, it is one of assumption. The how is not your concern. Your only task is to persist in the feeling of already having what you desire. The world will rearrange itself to accommodate this assumption in ways you cannot predict. Consider a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. With each strike, the vision within the stone becomes clearer. But if the sculptor were to stop before the work was complete, the masterpiece would remain hidden. In the same way, persistence is the continual shaping of reality through assumption. Each moment you remain in the state of your wish fulfilled, you are carving away at the formless until it takes shape in the world. Some people believe that manifestation requires struggle, that one must battle against circumstances or push through obstacles with force. But true persistence is effortless. It is not about trying harder, it is about maintaining an inner knowing. The battle is not with the world, but with the tendency to revert to old ways of thinking. The only discipline required is to remain faithful to your assumption, no matter what the outer world presents. Time is irrelevant to the persistent mind. Whether your desire manifests tomorrow, next week, or next year does not matter, for you are already living in the end. You are already experiencing the joy, the fulfillment, the reality of what you have claimed. When you persist with this level of certainty, reality must conform. The law is absolute. Whatever you consistently occupy in consciousness must become your experience. Persistence is not about force, it is about faith. It is the quiet, unwavering conviction that what you have assumed is already real. It is the refusal to be shaken by appearances, the certainty that nothing outside of you has the power to dictate your experience. It is the art of remaining in the state of fulfillment, knowing that what is unseen is already unfolding into form. Those who persist always win, for they understand that reality is shaped by the mind that does not waver. They do not look for signs, nor do they wait anxiously for results. They assume, they persist, and they receive. There is no exception to this law. Whatever you hold in consciousness as real, with unwavering persistence, must become your reality. It is law, and law does not fail. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is the certainty that what is unseen exists just as surely as what is visible. To have faith is to know that your desire is already fulfilled, to hold on to that knowing with an unshakable conviction. The world teaches people to believe only in what they can see, to trust only in what can be measured and proven, but faith operates beyond the limitations of the senses. It is the creative force that brings the invisible into form, the bridge between imagination and reality. Most people live by sight. They observe their circumstances and take them as final, allowing their external world to dictate their inner state. If they see lack, they feel poor. If they see rejection, they feel unworthy. If they see failure, they assume defeat. But this is the great mistake. The outer world is not the cause, it is the effect. Whatever exists in your reality now is merely the reflection of past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. The moment you understand this, you will stop reacting to circumstances and start creating them. Faith is the ability to see beyond appearances, to hold fast to what you know to be true, even when there is no physical evidence. A person who truly believes does not need reassurance. They do not look for signs or beg for proof. They simply know. And because they know, the world must conform. This is not a matter of chance or luck, it is law. The law of assumption states that whatever you accept as true in consciousness must be made manifest in reality. The only question is whether you will have the faith to persist until it does. Many people struggle with faith because they expect to see results immediately. They plant the seed of a new assumption, but dig it up at the first sign of doubt. They look to the outer world for confirmation instead of trusting in the unseen process unfolding beneath the surface. But faith does not waver. It does not require validation. It does not demand proof before believing. It simply is. The moment you embody this kind of faith, your world must shift to reflect it. Faith is not passive. It is not simply hoping that things will improve or waiting for conditions to change. It is the active assumption that your desire is already yours. The unwavering belief that what you have imagined is now reality. It is the refusal to entertain any thought of failure. The absolute certainty that what you have claimed in consciousness must be made visible in the physical world. A person with faith does not say, "I hope this happens," or "I wish it could be." They say, "It is done." Doubt is the only thing that prevents faith from working. The moment you question whether your desire is possible, the moment you allow external circumstances to dictate your belief, you step out of faith and into fear. And fear is simply faith in the wrong outcome. When you persist in a state of fear, you manifest more reasons to be afraid. When you persist in a state of faith, you manifest the reality you desire. Think of how effortlessly a child believes. A child does not question whether their imagination is real. They do not analyze or doubt. They simply see what they desire in their mind and accept it as true. This is the faith that moves mountains, the kind of belief that reshapes reality. It is not limited by logic or restricted by past experiences. It is pure, unwavering knowing. To develop this kind of faith, you must discipline your mind. You must train yourself to see beyond appearances, to accept your desired reality as fact before the world confirms it. This requires mental vigilance. Every time doubt arises, replace it with certainty. Every time fear creeps in, affirm that your wish is already fulfilled. Faith is a habit, a state of being that must be cultivated until it becomes your natural way of thinking. Most people allow circumstances to dictate their faith. They believe when things go well and doubt when obstacles arise. But true faith is not conditional. It does not depend on what is happening in the outer world. It stands firm in the face of adversity, unmoved by appearances. A person with true faith remains in the state of fulfillment, regardless of external conditions. They do not react to the world, they shape it. When you live in this kind of faith, reality bends to your assumption. The world moves to accommodate your belief. You do not need to struggle, force, or chase. You simply assume, persist, and receive. This is the effortless power of faith. It is not about effort, it is about certainty. It is not about hoping, it is about knowing. And when you know, the world has no choice but to reflect that knowing back to you. Everything you desire already exists in potential. The only thing standing between you and its manifestation is your ability to accept it as real. The moment you do, the moment you assume its reality with absolute faith, it must come to pass. There is no exception to this law. Whatever you believe with full conviction must materialize in your world. The only question is whether you will dare to believe before you see. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to infinite abundance. It is not merely an emotion or a polite expression of thanks. It is a state of being, a vibration that aligns you with the fulfillment of your desires. When you live in gratitude, you affirm that your wish is already fulfilled, that you are already in possession of the thing you seek. This is the secret that transforms a mere desire into an unshakable reality. Gratitude is not a reaction to blessings, it is the cause of them. It is not something you practice only after receiving, it is the force that brings forth all that you wish to receive. Most people wait to feel gratitude until after their circumstances change. They believe they will be grateful when they have more money, when they are in the perfect relationship, when their dreams come true. But this is not the way creation works. The outer world is merely a reflection of the inner world. If you withhold gratitude, waiting for external proof before you feel it, you will remain in a state of lack, constantly reinforcing the idea that you do not yet have what you desire. But the moment you shift into gratitude now, before any visible evidence appears, you align yourself with the reality where your wish is already fulfilled. Gratitude is an act of faith. It is the declaration that what you seek is already yours. It is the embodiment of the truth that all things exist in the unseen before they become visible. When you are grateful, you confirm that your desire is not something you are chasing, but something you already possess. And when you live in this state, the world must rearrange itself to match your assumption. A grateful mind does not beg or plead. It does not ask whether the desire will manifest. It knows it already has. Imagine receiving a gift from a loved one. The moment you accept it, you do not question whether it is truly yours. You do not wonder if it will be taken away. You simply receive it with joy and gratitude. This is the same energy you must embody with every desire. Assume that you have already received it. Feel the deep appreciation of having it now, and watch as reality moves to confirm your inner state. Gratitude also dissolves resistance. Many people unknowingly push their desires away through worry, doubt, and frustration. They obsess over the how and when, constantly looking for proof that their manifestation is on its way. But this only creates tension, reinforcing the idea that they do not yet have what they want. Gratitude, on the other hand, is effortless. It relaxes the mind, removes resistance, and allows desires to flow naturally into your experience. To live in gratitude is to trust completely in the unseen. It is to know that the moment you ask, it is given. But this trust cannot be half-hearted. It cannot be conditional. It must be absolute. You must wake up each morning with gratitude for the things you desire, as if they are already present. You must go to sleep each night feeling the joy of having received them. This is the way to impress the subconscious mind with the feeling of fulfillment. And once it is impressed, it must express. Gratitude shifts focus from what is missing to what is present. Many people remain stuck in cycles of lack because they constantly focus on what they do not have. They think about their problems, their struggles, their limitations. But what you focus on expands. If you constantly dwell on what is missing, you will continue to experience lack. Gratitude redirects attention to what is already abundant in your life, creating more abundance in return. It is the law of consciousness. Whatever you acknowledge and appreciate multiplies. Even in moments of difficulty, gratitude is the way forward. When faced with obstacles, most people complain, resist, or dwell in frustration. But these reactions only reinforce the unwanted condition. Gratitude, however, transforms any situation. It shifts the mind from resistance to acceptance, from struggle to peace. It allows you to find meaning in every experience, to see every setback as an opportunity, every delay as divine timing. A person who lives in gratitude does not see problems, they see stepping stones. They trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even when it is not yet visible. Gratitude is not just a mental practice, it is a feeling state. It is not enough to say thank you without truly feeling it. The power of gratitude lies in the depth of emotion behind it. To make it effective, you must cultivate the feeling of already having what you desire. Feel the excitement, the relief, the joy, the deep appreciation of being in possession of your wish. When you do this, your subconscious mind accepts it as truth, and reality must conform. Many of the most successful and fulfilled people in the world have mastered this principle. They do not wait for circumstances to make them happy. They generate happiness from within. They do not wait for wealth to feel abundant. They feel abundant first, and wealth follows. This is the secret that separates those who struggle from those who thrive. The world does not give you reasons to be grateful. You must bring gratitude to the world. And when you do, the world responds in kind. Gratitude is the simplest yet most powerful tool for manifestation. It requires no effort, no force, no struggle, only a shift in awareness. The moment you begin to live in gratitude, you step into alignment with all that you desire. You move from longing to fulfillment, from waiting to receiving. And in this state, everything you have ever wanted flows effortlessly into your experience. This is the power of gratitude. This is the key to unlocking the life you were always meant to live. All that you seek is already within you, waiting for the moment you dare to claim it as yours. The power to manifest lies not in the external world, but in the depths of your own imagination, in the unwavering faith that what you desire is already a reality. God's promise is not a distant hope, nor a reward granted to the worthy. It is a certainty, an eternal truth, written within the very fabric of your being. The world will tell you to rely on what you see, but the truth is that what you see is only a reflection of what you have believed. The moment you step beyond appearances, beyond doubt, beyond fear, and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you activate the divine law that governs all creation. You are not waiting for God's promise to manifest. It has already been given. The only requirement is that you receive it with faith, with conviction, with gratitude so profound that there is no room for doubt. Tonight, let every lingering fear fade away. Let every thought of lack be replaced with the certainty of abundance. Let every hesitation be silenced by the knowing that it is already done. Live in the assumption that your desire is fulfilled. Think from the end, persist in the unseen, and give thanks for the manifestation that is unfolding even now. The moment you accept this truth, the moment you claim it with absolute certainty, the world must shift in your favor. God's promise is not for tomorrow. It is not for some distant future. It is for now. It is for tonight. And the moment you believe, truly believe, you will see it.